Welcome to something short and sweet in the Parsha. This week, Parshas Tetzaveh. Does walking into your shul elevate you? Does it move you? It really should. It needs to. Let me explain. Sforno teaches us that the Mishkan was plan B. Originally, before the sin of the golden calf, each man and woman could have been Merkava L'Shechina. They could be a repository, a resting place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's presence. Each Jewish home would be the abode of the divine, much like the tent, the home of Avraham Avinu and Sarah Imenu. Chazal tell us that you had great miracles which expressed the divine presence. There was bracha metzuya b'socha isa. You know, in the Beis Hamikdash, the showbread was on the table, the shulchan, for an entire week. It was still fresh. Forget about fresh. It was still warm. 7 days, like it came out of the oven. The home of Avram and Sarah, there was a cloud, which was kosher to that tent, much like the presence of the Shekhinah in the Beis Hamikdash. And just like in the Beis Hamikdash, the Ner Ma'aravi never burnt out, so too the candles of Sarah and the other imahos, they never burnt out. They were Merkava L'Shechina. They were the abode for the divine presence. And so too would every Jewish home. It was only when we collectively sinned with the golden calf, so then something within us was spoiled. Our spiritual essence was diminished. And therefore we needed more help. Each and every one of us couldn't have that immediate relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam, and therefore we needed a place to go. Says Rabbi Avraham, this can be compared to someone who has trouble breathing. There's something wrong with his lungs. He had an infection, and subsequent to that, things are just not right. So although air is ubiquitous, you can get air anywhere. Some people, they need to go to Arizona. Doctor tells them, you need to go get good air. And some people need to have it be in an oxygen tent. They need it to be more pure. And so too, says the Sforno, Klal Yisrael, after sinning at the golden calf, they couldn't just find the divine presence anywhere in their own lives and their own homes. They needed a specific place to find that space, the place of the divine, to interact with the divine, to see things the way God does. We needed the Beis Hamikdash. And today, as we discussed last week, we don't have the Beis Hamikdash, but what we have, as the Navi Yechezkel calls it, the Mikdash Ma'at. And therefore, how important it is that that Mikdash Ma'at, that small sanctuary, is a place where we can access the divine. Because as the Sforno told us, once there was a sin of the golden calf, there is no way without a specific place to interact with divinity, to bring back our thoughts, to have a godly encounter, and to bring us to the straight and narrow. We need the Beis Hamikdash, and we need our shul just for that. What if we don't sense that when we walk into our shul? Perhaps the problem is with the place. Last week we discussed how we can all elevate the place, how we can make it a place which is different from other spaces. where it's a place where we come and we just sense something is more real, something is more divine. But another aspect, though, is our attitude. Rav Nosson Wachvogel, formerly the Mashgiach of Beis Medrash Gavoa in Lakewood, so he gives us a principle in accessing and in making use of matters spiritual. He says that in order to derive benefit from a spiritual thing or to impact a spiritual thing, you need to be mechabed it. You need to honor it. He said it in regard to kolalim. He was the father of the American kolalim. And he said that sometimes a kollel will fail because the new kollel fellows who are coming to impact the community, they will make the assumption that things originally in the community were no good. And they'll give across that impression. The various aspects which they are coming perhaps to elevate, the attitude might be giving across that what was there up until now is no good. So perhaps the education, perhaps the mikveh, perhaps the eruv, and the sum total of all of this is that you people who we're coming to influence are no good. Sarah Nosson, if you're not mechabed, if you don't honor a human being, you can't impact them. You can't raise them up. You need to honor them. That's the basis for the relationship of a rabbi, the basis for the relationship of a kollel. I honor you. I think you're wonderful. Similarly, there's a pasuk in Mishlei that says this about Torah. The pasuk says, "Talsalo saroma mechem." Be mechabed the Torah. Honor the Torah, says Shlomo HaMelech. Umaroma mecha. And then the Torah will work its magic. If you honor it while you're studying it, while you're performing it, this will elevate you. But you might learn that same Torah. You might try to put it into practice, but without the requisite honor, it doesn't have the same effect. And similarly, says the Sefer HaChinuch, when we talk about the Beis HaMikdash, we talk about the Mishkan, we talk about the Mikdash, Ma'at, our Shul. If we honor it, it will have a greater impact on us. The Shulchan Aruch says that when we come to Shul, we should be saying, Va'ani berov chastecha, and me, out of your great chesed, avo veisecha, I come to your house, eshtacha ve'el heichal kodechecha, I bow in your holy sanctuary, biyirasecha, out of awe for you. The recognition that coming to Shul is a chesed Hashem. I'm coming in to this divine presence, and I bow in awe of you. What difference does it make? Another halacha. When we come to daven in Shul. Pasuk in Navi tells us, Hikon likras Elokecha Yisrael, prepare yourself. That's why we dress properly. We should dress special, different than when we walk outside in the street. And that will give honor to the shul, and honor to the tefillah, to the prayer, and that will have an effect on us. We learn from the Sforno that the effect of the shul, of the mikdash, is indispensable. We can't tap into the divine. We can't clarify our thoughts, purify our thoughts elsewhere. Before the sin of the golden calf, we could breathe any air. We could find God anywhere. But not once there was a chet, we need the place to encounter, to interface with the divine. Thanks so much for listening. Have a good Shabbos.